we live very resource constrained. Maybe we don't have enough time in within the day. Maybe we don't have enough resources, like in terms of money. Maybe we don't have the energy to do everything, right? Because we want to like gym, do our work, come back home and have time to cook, have time to do certain things that helps you, be productive, right? And so the question I want to ask everybody right now is, what would you do if you had enough time in a day, right? Of course, we're capped at 24 hours. 8 of it is for sleep, 8 of it's for work. The rest of the 8 could be used for learning how to cook, learning a language, being on a computer, watching anime, Netflix, video games, or hanging out with friends, right? And so what would change if you had infinite amount of energy with them? So I'm going to change it a bit. I know I said time, so let's go with energy. I guess how I would do it is this. I do a lot. I commute, I study on the side, I produce these videos along with other channels. I produce, code that helps me make these videos, use AI to make these thumbnails. And after a while, I just get drained because it's a lot of repetition without having any success, right? And so success in what? Work is easy, right? You do something and you get paid for it. YouTube is a different story. I produce content, people see it, but I don't grow the channel as fast as or as noticeable as I would like, but I guess it takes time. And so the energy that I would like to apply to in my life, if I have an infinite amount, is to keep going, because every single time you produce something and it doesn't do well as expected is another observation that impacts your next cycle of when you want to produce something. In other words, last week, if I wanted to record, I would record, I produce, I publish, it doesn't go anywhere, and so it kind of affects my mood when it's time to publish again or to create again. It's like saying in the beginning of the year, I started to work out. Next week or two, I see some growth, but at least you get to feel and experience the growth, right? You feel changes in your body, you feel a bit stronger, you feel better. But when it comes to stuff like this, it's a bit different. I do see growth in terms of people are watching the shorts, but not necessarily, watching the long form videos, which is a bit on the bum side. But I guess, it is what it is. The other issue is maybe you just don't feel like doing it, not because you know it's not gonna go anywhere. It's because there are so many other things that are happening to you right now that you just don't want to do it. And so I think that's why I would apply energy to, right? Have enough energy to produce content in be happy to produce content, like have it expressed through my voice right now. Have it expressed when I'm creating content, like the thumbnails, the code that goes behind some of my work, and of course the publishing, right? Like it's all time consuming. Luckily, I developed something that helps me chop down the audio into something that's more like friendly, user friendly or viewer friendly. It's just that sometimes you just don't want to do it, and so after a while you get sidetracked, right? Because if you don't want to do YouTube, you start to do something else, and you leave YouTube to like the sidebar, side stands, right? And it's hard because this also propagates into other parts of your life, right? Like gym, for example, right? Gym is a huge one. That's a huge ROI, especially if you want to maintain it. In other words, there have been moments where I just don't want to go, and I just end up going just because it's either part of my routine, and two, it's just good for me, right? And so like those are obvious, ROI examples that I can mention right now, where like I wish I had enough energy to just continue going to the gym even though I don't feel like it. And there have been times where I went and I didn't want to do much because it's just tiring, or I just not in the mood. But at least I showed up, and so I can maintain so certain like exercises for muscle groups. It's just that like nowadays I just go to do a certain workout, and then that's pretty much it. But I know I'm not doing much to help progress or push my body to the next level. When it comes to work, work is work. I've been showing up like drained and not wanting to be there. It's all whack, right? And like I wish I had enough energy to just continue working, because I just show up, I'm not amused with the work that I do. It's all boring, it's all repetitive. And so if I had enough energy, that what I would do is to come to work a bit more on the smiley side, instead of just spawning all like, ugh, right? It leaves an impression if you start to, show up all like, miserable, if you want to put it like that. But yeah, those are certain aspects in life that I want to like make sure that I'm on the happier side, and the happiness is derived from the energy that you get. So more energy to produce content for YouTube, more energy to go to the gym to try to like progress progress the health of my body and push to the next level, and of course work, right? They just don't want to show up all like. And the other thing that these are three solid things that I do currently. The other thing is more like looking forward to like a rest day or any day where you can just sit down and relax and not do much. And it sounds a bit counterproductive, right? Because throughout the week you do a lot and you produce a lot, and I want energy to keep producing a lot, right? On the other hand, there are days where I'm at home, I don't do much, and it's not because I don't have anything to do. It's just that I don't feel like doing much, but at the same time, like I want there to be a balance between me being productive and me just laying around not doing much and resting, right? And it's hard. It's hard. I have a lot of time on the weekends, and I try to dedicate it to like publishing content. It's just hard because it just is, especially when you don't see the payout, right? Like payout for me would be more on the side of like, hey, like I have a certain loyal listeners or whatever, or it is something that is more of a signal to continue instead of just noise, right? I feel like most of the part it's been noise, even though certain moments have persuaded me to be more on the optimistic side. But it's hard. So like, what can we do to better our lives? And I think the best way. I think the best way to better your life is to figure out a way to generate energy from certain resources, right? Like I honestly don't know how. The only thing that comes to mind is to like be able to do something that I want to do, right? Like back in the day, we used to like playing video games all the time, but it's more time consuming and productive. But at least we have something at least we have something that we could look forward to. Traveling is a good idea too. Like you want to be able to explore the map, and obviously if it's in the future, like 3 months in the future, then that's something you can look forward to and start planning to obviously go travel and go have fun. But obviously those things cost, and it costs a lot. So what are certain things that we can do to better our lives? And it truly is hard. We keep going, we keep finding purpose, we keep striving, but we don't know to where we're going to. But I think the idea is to keep exploring yourself, keep living, keep going, and try to figure out a way to best make what you have best for yourself. Because it's hard. Just keep going without any success or without anything to measure progress. And all we can do is just endure, because we're in this game, whether it be by choice or not, and we should continue. It's just hard.